Son becomes the father the son. This is all I can send you, Kal-El. It's not who I am underneath that defines me, but what I do. You want to get nuts? Come on, let's get nuts. Just because someone stumbles and loses their path doesn't mean they're lost forever. You're making me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry. I let my father die because I trusted him. Because he was convinced that I had to wait. That the world was not ready. What do you think? With great power comes great responsibility. We are Groot. We are Groot. We are Groot. We are Groot. We're Groot. We're Groot. We're Groot. I'm with you till the end of the line. Tell me, do you believe? You will. Big man in a suit of armor. Take that off. And what are you? Genius. Billionaire. Playboy. Philanthropist.
Well, I'm looking for philanthropists. It'll be awesome to have someone, like Iron Man or Batman, with billions of dollars that that their parents have worked and built up a nest egg of, or companies and all that, and that's allowed them to basically be able to, one day be able to get inherited into, because that'll be pretty cool. And you end up like having to be able to use that money and to be able to do, to be able to, utilize it for things that you want to utilize, and I think that's something that's pretty cool, like being able to inherit money to do stuff. And I think not all of us are lucky, but some of those who are born into that sort of situation has things and abilities to do amazing things with finances that are there. However, those of us who are at the bottom of the rung, who are creating comics as such in the indie scene, it's quite different, isn't it, Hugo? How you been, man? I think you're on. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Good. It's just been really cold recently over here, so I'm ready for the spring to come. Can't consume enough.
Cold in Mexico.
Honestly.
Cold in Mexico. Who would imagine that it'll be cold in Mexico? Cancun and all that is amazing places and beaches and stuff.
Yeah, it's mostly in the north part of Mexico where it gets really cold because it's like a desert environment. I mean, that's what they're called technically. Yeah, so when it's hot, it gets really hot, and when it's cold, it gets really cold. So yeah, I'm just tired of the cold, man. I've been sick
like that,
pretty much.
The winter with the summer here. Like we're in like real heat. Like for us, it's a summer and it's like sweating. I had to have the doors and windows open, and then I had to close it because the noise comes in from the road. Otherwise, I would have the doors open and a nice breeze would go through my house, like a apartment with a tunnel. Is there a bit of delay between the two of us?
I think maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, I'll allow for that. So, okay. How have you been? Like, I mean, how was your New Year's? How was your Christmas? You been well?
Yeah, it was good. It was fun to hang out with family and just spend some time off from work. But I've been also getting pretty sick, like on and off, getting sick and getting sick. So it's been fun, relaxing, but it's also been a little tiring. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, we've been just all go ahead, full steam ahead this year with trying to get crowdfundings ready, trying to get our other projects on. We've had new artists turn up, and so it's been pretty cool because and also trying to get this ready for getting Incredi-Girl #1 out to backers and sorting out the shipping, the printing issues and stuff like that. I mean, I sent you a page saying, hey, there's friggin' I forgot to take off a line on this, and you had to rush and fix that. And so now we've got delays in the shipping from our printers, and been trying to chase that up because that's something that you can't really control when it's over another company looking after your product. So yeah, we've got if you guys haven't if you haven't kind of followed our page on Kickstarter, this is the one that we use for Incredi-Girl that we just finished last year. It passed, it wasn't greatly profitable, but it was the first one, and it actually passed the first round, which we're quite excited about, and because now we can bring the second round, which is what we're going to be talking about today, is the artwork on the second round, and especially Hugo's amazing coloring, rendering and work over Kevin Zimmerman's illustrations. And this is Kevin's illustrations here, and this is Hugo's. And if you've followed us channel, you'd have seen these ones, but you can see real sharp, clear lines that Kevin has, his style, and then going in and using amazing work of his his talents and bringing them to life. And I always use this one for one of my comics and ramblings video because I just kind of like Nano there, just that look. You don't know what he's thinking. So now I've got some images that you shared with us in regards to, you sent through today in regards to issue 2. So I'm going to bring that up and we can go through that because one of them's a flashback. Actually, I think, both of them are kind of like a flashback thing. So, and it's just, so it's quite different. And I was looking at them going, these look different. And then I realized, hey, these are flashback, And so, it's pretty cool. And I'm like quite excited to see them. It's like, these are not, you're not seeing these real time. And it's really cool to see them this way. And, you haven't read the script and saying, okay, because I think I just sent you the art and I forgot to send you the script. And I was like, oh, shit, but this is work by Kevin Zimmerman, our awesome artist on Incredi-Girl series. There's about 6 issues, if I remember right. And this is the story here is this is Milford Sound in New Zealand. This is a real place, and I've actually been in one of these over this place, and that's why I thought I would add from experience into it what it was like. It was pretty cool. My mum took myself and my ex-wife as like a kind of like a present, a gift when she came to visit. We were living down there doing our studies in Invercargill. So yeah, this is I won't give too much away because it's a very important sort of situation. But do you want to take us through this, Hugo?
Yeah, I mean, I was looking through the pages and I was trying to pick some that were not really spoilers. So I picked some of the ones that I sent over. It's just establishing shots, just characters we may or may not know. So it was pretty safe to work on these ones. It's pretty fun because you can see, like, I haven't even finished the flats on the pilot, but I'm kind of rendering on the first panel just because I thought it was I just felt like working on a panoramic shot, an establishing shot. So, and I was just really inspired. So I was working on the textures, and as you see, this was a real place. So I was looking at pictures and looking for reference, and I was really impressed with the setting. Like I, I liked it so much. I was just trying to pick the right colors to try to illustrate this real place, and it looks
Yeah.
like that. Like if you think this is beautiful on the page, it's even more beautiful in real life. So maybe when the characters are there, people are gonna be like, let's go to South Island, New Zealand, because I saw it in a comic and it was awesome.
Yeah, because I remember the trip with my mum, with my because we're sitting the back where those two people are sitting, and looking out the window, taking photos, and on a little phone, and I don't think I've got any of those photos, so I had to actually look online and Google it, which is what I normally do, to try to get reference images, and yeah, I was trying to figure out. I've got the next issue. I've got references here. I'm looking at. I'm trying to figure out where's issue 2 references. But usually it's when you're doing actual places, having those references is a good. Makes life easy because you get to see, like you said, the tones, the colors, the depth of color, and what it's like. I mean, one of the other things was that around this area, I actually went fishing one time about a year later after my mum had gone, and both my ex and I, we went on a boat and we were like trout fishing. You know how you got salmon? The opposite of this is trout, like fresh water. And it was interesting, and being able to see it from the ground and seeing the colors around, whereas before I was seeing it from the sky. It's just such a beautiful area, and but yeah, I mean, sometimes just seeing the photos doesn't do it justice. Even when you're like looking at actual photos, they don't do it justice. I kind of like this, what you've done with that. Let me just go with that. So the pilot, this is pretty cool. I kind of like that, even though you said that you haven't finished rendering it, but it's interesting because it kind of really gives a depth of field. It kind of like separates the two, and it feels like this it gives it that surreal look. The concentration is on them because the story is about them, I guess, in this sense, in this image on this page. Whereas and but yeah, man, I love the colors and tones you've used here. It's just flats and not tones. I think this is what I love for Robot Nation, to be honest. Because
this is more of like what was used before digital coloring, right? Like, or before it really became so advanced. Books looked like this in the 80s, and I love that look. Like it looked so. It was so intentional, yet it was so simple. That's what I use in the process, just to kind of separate the things from the foreground, the background, and all of that. So it won't stay like this, but you will see that separation that you're talking about. Like, I'm gonna put the focus on them, and the pilot is gonna be, maybe it's just gonna be another layer. He's gonna be darker, maybe something like that. But I do also love the look of those colors, like you mentioned, like those old school, just a lot of yellows, pinks, and a lot of blues. That was it. That was
just
it. And yellow
tone,
and
right?
and
white
tones,
like harsh, strong tones that they have now in comics, but kind of like a softer, they're pale, lighter tones, and I like that. It kind of reminds me of Tintin, and especially European coloring style. I love that. Like Lucky Luke and stuff like that. Well, from the cartoons, they look a bit like this as well. So there's another page that you sent through, and I'm going to bring that one up, which has a lead character in it. So this is, if you guys are just joining us, this is from issue 2, art that we're going to do for that's being done for Incredi-Girl, and this is the character here. And one of the things about this, I try to make, because I myself is a ceramic artist and sculptor. So when I was creating this character, I was like, it'd be cool is that I actually bring a hero or so-called hero forward that's just a normal person, like really normal, like as normal as it can be, like us artists, right? Us creatives. Like she's actually a sculptor, and that is the drive to what puts her in situations, as you'll see when you read issue 2, you know. And like one of the cool things about this is that you know, this animal here, you know, if I remember right, let me just bring it up. There isn't one that I edit or we edit later, because I can't remember. Oh no, I did early on, but I didn't choose which dog, and then later on I chose the dog when we went to redo it. Let me find the right page. I'm looking at my Clip Studio Paint. Images. There's that one. There we go. Yeah. So I'll bring this up, and then you guys can see what I mean. And I'm gonna have to turn off the lettering, so that way I'm not giving away the story. I'm not spoiling it for you, because especially if you haven't even, you know, haven't got it, because we haven't got #1 out yet to backers. We still got about a whole month and a half to go, so we're not behind on delivery. But it's just I'm getting antsy because I want this out, you know, so we can start getting the next one out. So this is Incredi-Girl. This is the page here, and you notice it's like a flip phone. But the weird thing is, flip phones were normal when I wrote this in 2007, right? And 2008 or 9, I think it was. But like now, flip phones have come right back in. You know, you can actually get flip phones now, you know, which is kind of weird. So it's also, you know, it kind of feels like it's modern, even though it will age it. It kind of feels normal, modern. But yeah, so this is the, you know, her puppy and so on. I wanted to give her something personable, right? Because at the end of the day, your character's got to have something that grounds them, because otherwise, you know, it's kind of like, I mean, like they did with you know, crypto. Kind of feels like crypto, but I never really thought about crypto, you know. Hey Rex, how you doing, dude? Yeah, so let me bring up the colors again, and we can, here we go. So you can see the difference between, you know, and this is also another flashback scene, right? Sort of in the past, and because we kind of when you get introduced to issue 1 to Incredi-Girl, she's already, you know, wearing a costume. She's already, and so this is kind of like her background, and she's, you know, you find out that she's, you know, she's a sculptor artist, and you know, in her studio and stuff, and you know, this is what her you know, gets her on the way. So talk us through the color process here, dude, because it's quite similar to the other one as well, right? The color choices.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I want to focus on more on this issue, just general, just on my rendering. I mean, specifically my lighting, and also a little bit of textures, because I thought on the first issue that's something I could improve on. So I wanted to improve on this issue, and yeah. I mean, that's why I'm adding a little more atmosphere to every scene. At least that's my intention, you know, to continue on every book. So that's pretty much my main intention with the first panel. I was like, oh, I could, like, I just saw the black and white version of this. I had it just flashed this version that I did in colors. Like it already came, like, pretty much just made. I just had to put into paper, into digital paper. So I was like, oh, okay. And it was just a process of getting it to look how it looked in my head. And I mean, I'm pretty happy with the process. I mean, of course, the sculptures I don't think are finished. I actually wanted to ask about the sculptures, because first I kind of thought they were ice sculptures, but then they would maybe melt. So I didn't know. But it's good to see that you said that they were ceramic. That gives me a better idea to work on those colors.
Yeah, they're all clay, and blocks of clay, and you know, just clay. It's just something that, you know, I've done myself. So I thought, like, you know, bring it in natural and turn her into, you know, make a character into an artist, give us something legit, something to work with. There you go. This is Rex, fellow New Zealand artist, doing well, man. Art is looking slick. Yeah, the colors are really cool, and you know we've got Hugo working on also coloring Robot Nation, and so it's dual work here, and we're about to hit Robot Nation probably around the same time for our for our page, as well, because we've got two studio like Kickstarter set up. So we've got our one, which is this one here, which is Plunge NZ for Kickstarter, and then there's also, because it's for for more mature content, and so Robot Nation is a mature content book. So we separated the two because that way our all ages goes to one place and our mature content goes to another place. And so it goes to, for us, it goes to Plunge Plunge Comics NZ. So right now we're setting up Robot Nation, and getting the colors right here. And here's Hugo's color, by the way, if you guys want to see. This is Hugo's color here on I think it's quite small, so let me just grab to the basics. Oh no, story, I think should have bigger. That's me trying to work on the, yeah. So I'm trying to imagine the colors on this that are on the same colors that you did in the flashback, because that'll really lift really bring this to life, even though it's like perfect as. But I love the color, and the color would really work that old school style, because it's more of a European style comic. Let me see if I do have one of the covers up. Oh no, I think the covers are just on. Oh, here we go. There's a cover. So this is Hugo's coloring on this. So you can see that Hugo's coloring style changes according to what he's working on, and I love this. Just this is our cover A. We've got various other covers, and we've got one where we've got that's got a blue background and stuff. So let me pop out of there, and I will bring up the actual works that's already been done on Incredi-Girl #2, without trying to spoil it for you guys. Do not save because the lettering's there. So this is the so you've got this here, and this is kind of like the last page that we've Kevin's been doing. He's currently working, and we introduce the characters and stuff. Some pretty cool. And then you've seen this image before on the Kickstarter itself, where she comes in, and so on, and it's really, I love I can't wait to see this book. Every time I see the colors on a page, I get blown away, and there's something about just the addition of colors that really makes work pop out. So we've already got cover A done, by which is this one here. Which is colored and also inked, penciled by Kevin Zimmerman, the interior artist. And so that's the cover A that we'll be giving out, putting out on Kickstarter, and later on, hopefully in the shops. But then we've got all the actual, hold on, I'm moving around too fast. Yeah, the actual other add-ons, posters and stuff. And I'm quite excited to be, to once again offer that up. Plus, also with this one, you'll be able to get number 1 of the series, right? Because number 2 is coming out next, probably about March or something, and then number 1 will be given as an add-on. So you could actually, if you missed out on number 1, you get to, second time around, be able to get number 1 cover A, and not, any of the other add-ons, because each one will have different add-ons as part of the Kickstarter campaign. Now, just going to check, bring that page up again. How long does it usually take you to do a page, Hugo? For those who are just watching us now, because I'm, yep.
Well, it depends on, like, mostly the actual rendering. It usually takes from 2 to 4 hours, and the flattening takes. It depends on the level of detail, but it takes also 2 to 4 hours. But
Yeah,
you know, the important part, the rendering usually takes from 2 to 4 hours.
yeah,
I'm really going crazy on the details, but or it's like an actual double page spread that usually takes a little longer. But yeah, I mean, it's not that. I don't think it takes really that long. What
yeah. I
takes
mean,
longer is to have the
but
right idea in your head,
yeah, that is a
like
day's worth of work, though.
executing that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because like the reason I asked that is that like recently there's been all this controversy about, oh, pencils take ages, writing takes ages, or if you're a really good writer, you can do it in a couple of weeks, But then it doesn't take that long to color, and I'm like, you have no idea, if you've never colored a page, you have no idea how long it takes to process, especially if the lines, because usually you can use a color dropper, right? And for if you're doing digital coloring, you can use it to within the white lines and so. But sometimes if the lines, if the artist hasn't been doing it for long, sometimes your lines don't connect, and I've had to go through it in the past where the lines don't connect, so you can't just use a dropper. You have to go around and trace it around it, to find the colors, and that's a long process. But I love how a lot of the work that I'm not sure, looking just at the coloring here, you go, were the lines all connecting and stuff, so it was a bit easier for you to like do the what's it called, the ink dropper,
Well, I almost never use the color drop because it usually doesn't work well.
oh,
Like as you said, sometimes the lines don't connect. Sometimes some lines are connected that shouldn't. So that really takes a long time to flat the page.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, and sometimes even if they connect, they're not. The selection is not that useful, and then you're gonna have to do it again. So I usually don't use the color drop tool, even though it might save some time sometimes, but
yeah,
it's usually not the right choice. Usually, it might make the process a little longer. Like it makes them faster in the beginning.
yeah,
You see a color page, but then in the end, where you need to edit and render and all of the stuff, you realize that you needed to have those clean sections that you didn't have, and so you're gonna have to do it anyways. So yeah.
yeah, yeah. I usually, for me, I use like with the ones like you can go around it, and then like you with like with the mouse. So you go. Let me just show you. So say this is am I on the right one? No, I'm not on the right one. So if I was doing it, I would get to like the mouse and I go click, 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 or I'll go click here and straight line. Okay, cool. Now I'll go like that, and with a mouse. And so that's a long process. And so when people say, oh, coloring doesn't take that long, that's why I was, they don't understand the process of creating comics and doing that actually that just as long as it could take for drawing something out and planning it out or inking and penciling it, it can take just as long to do a really, especially if you're doing covers, right? And you want a lot of details, it can take a while, and it's a long process creating comics. And a lot of people think that it's like, just because it's digital coloring, it's really quick. And I just want to say hello, Nugget, Ross. Thanks for joining us, man. Appreciate it. So yeah, we don't these live streams for What's Cooking is actually quite short compared to everything else. It's just to catch up and just let you know what we're doing and where we're at with this. So we're supposed to talk about the tortoise today, but that didn't go through because I did a chat about that yesterday. So we'll leave that. But do follow our do follow our Incredi-Girl page on Rising Sun Comics Kickstarter page. That way you'll get notified and stuff about when issue 2 comes out, and also you can do like a second chance of getting issue 1, and hopefully we'll get these out to our to our backers in time. At the moment, we're still waiting on friggin' shipping. For printers to print it out. Christmas was for everybody kind of like had all their people go on holidays, right? Sometimes for a month, sometimes for weeks. So we found that like there was a delay on the printing because of that. But you'll be able to get this within the next 2 months, because I think it was at end of February we said we'll get it to you. So we still have a bit of time to get this to you guys. So this is the one, like if you go to I think it's the Rising Sun Comics page, which this is with the collaborators there, but also if you want our mature content, you guys can pop over to Plunge Comics NZ. But one of the things we will also be doing is we'll also be offering our second chance books on #1. So I know that a lot of people that because the Rising Sun page is for all ages, right? Whereas the Plunge Comics page is for mature comics, but we can still do add-ons of Incredi-Girl on here, not vice versa, because we just want to keep the clear demarcation border between the two, because it's important that that people are aware that one's for one and one's for the other, and the two shall not cross over. Except for when you're older, you've got Plunge Studios doing their own one. You can actually pop over and get stuff like Templeton, and our next one, which is which is Robot Nation. This is the next one. I got to change this because it looks a bit more kind of erotic, and so I'm going to be the header will be different, and so this is what's going to be coming out here. But then issue 1 will be issue 2 will be of Incredi-Girl will be coming back over the other place with Rising Sun. So do please follow both accounts, because that way you're aware of what we're doing as a comic book studio and as our teams are, and because there's a lot of stuff coming up. The other one is we're probably going to do an earlier morning stream next time, because we're going to be talking to our new artist from Sweden. And because right now in Sweden it's 1 o'clock in the morning, 1:30 in the morning, right? He's about 36 hours behind us, kind of. And so we weren't able to get Hugo Aquino join us to talk about the project that we're starting with him, which is Zealandia. But if you do want to read the PDF black and white version of this right now, you can actually get it for $2.99, right? Over at let me bring up over at Rising Sun Publishing Group at their store. So you can get a digital version of this right now. It's in the chat. It should be wherever you guys are watching this. It should be in the chat there, or in the comment section if you're on Facebook. But yeah, I'm going to close up here. But Hugo, is there anything else you want to talk about? Because this is one of your other colors as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to work on Robot Nation. I still haven't started the work on that yet, but I'm really excited to, as you said, to change my style depending on the style of Robot Nation, because that is drawn very differently than Incredi-Girl. So I started some experiments, but I haven't really ironed out anything yet. Yeah, I mean, I'm really excited to work on it. It's just like, look at that page. It's awesome.
Yeah.
There's so much happening.
Yeah, man, it's like crazy. And this is one of like we might do it as a sketch cover, but also you know, some like this is the same image, but I went and put colors in it to make a foil because I thought this would look really good as a foil cover, you know, all that shininess and everything, and because that's just Francisco Conti's you know, artwork, and all I've done is just taken the background, you know, the white off it and splashed it on a piece of, you know, kind of like a, what is that called, man? When you like, it's a bleed, isn't it? It's the color bleed.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, and then also we've got James Hugo's and NSFW kind of like explicit topless cover here. This is just like a portion of it. The whole thing's up here, yeah, it's so yeah, we're offering a whole bunch of covers, you know, as well as full color art, as well as, you know, foil cover, as well as posters and trading cards and stuff. And we just had actually a artist, writer, creator, Christian Zaffo, do a piece of you know, like a pin-up for us. And so I might be looking at seeing if we can color that or just put it out as a black and white. So basically there's 2 stories in Robot Nation, and that is The Trouble with Bobo, which is the opening story, which switched it around because one of my writer friends, award-winning writer friends, said, hey, you should put this one first. I had Robot Nation first, and then he said, you know, it'd work better if you put the other one first, and so we switched it around. And that's just his preference, but I said, hey, why not? I'm not really stuck in it, you know, because as long as the 2 stories are there, it doesn't matter what sequence. And so they're both complete stories, 28 pages of art, story art, and, you know, comic book art, and then also 36 actual pages of comic. So, you know, with all the covers and interior kind of like background, back matter, also, you know, like how the work came about, and some character designs and stuff. And yeah, we're going to be going on to working on issue 2 soon. And, you know, I'm just quite excited to be able to have 2 places now that we can actually put out our work. So that you can see here, this is like one of the covers done by James that's been colored here, you know, just as a mock-up working color. And then you'll see the full color later on. Everything here, the pricing's all kind of like a change. This is work in progress. This is just a preview of where we're going with, you know, with the Kickstarter and stuff. And the thing about this is we're going to only be releasing this in the US and America in print for the time being. That's because the shipping is just getting crazy for us. So it's easier to just do it at, you know, there where it's being printed, and then we can don't have to worry about trying to send it to, and, you know, working out what's the cost here, what's the cost there. But we will release it as a trade paperback at the end with all the floppies, if people want floppies as well, when we get to the last issue, with, you know, with number 4. And so that way you can actually have the entire book in one, or you can do the floppies later. And it's kind of like basically trying to save shipping for everybody else, because I know it's how much it costs for shipping, because I've just had to pay $40 US, right, for shipping for something just recently. And yeah, and so we want to help you guys as much as we want you to help us get our comics into your hands. I do love your work on this cover, man. It was so cool. Just the tones and stuff that you used. Yeah, just, yeah. Because is it Venus? Like the planet Venus, isn't it? That's where I think she is. And so, yeah, there's like one story's on Earth and the other one's on friggin' Venus and in space. So it's quite different. And because the thing with short, like if you're doing an 18, kind of like a 16 page and a 12 page, which I think these 2 stories are, different freaking characters, right? So you got this, now you're moving it to the next, you know, it's like, and then you gotta think of like the artist is going, okay, I'm just getting on this, and they're like, oh shit, he's got freaking whole new story that I got to work on in the same comic, 28 pages of comic book. Whereas if you're doing, you know, say if you're doing a superhero comic or Incredi-Girl, right, it's just one story. You know, the bit of flashback, but there's just one story, so you get the style, the art is just basically the same. all the backgrounds kind of look similar. And now you know, in a way I feel sorry for Francisco, but he's, you know, writing these short stories, but he's done an amazing job, you know, and you'll be able to see that in print. So, you know, what you got planned for today, man? And then we'll finish off here. So,
well, I'm planning on going maybe to the gym, and then after going to the gym, just a big meal and just reading some comics, and then going to sleep.
Awesome.
That's it.
Man, like, yeah. So thank you for taking time out. Like I said, I don't like to keep you do this one for too long because, you know, just want to show Francisco and our artist work, and you guys get to see what's going on, where we're at with it, and what we're up to, and hopefully, you know, you subscribe to the channel, but also that you'll give us a follow on the Kickstarter pages, which are in the, you know, in the chat there, and you know, help us out, and yeah, spread the news about what we're doing, and share our posts we make, and let people know that we are creating great comics here. We got a great team of artists, and, you know, colorists and inkers and pencils and stuff, and we've got so many more comics coming out. I think there's about 5 more, maybe, you know, 2 more. We just picked up 2 more artists, and there's about another 3 that are, no, actually we picked up 3 artists, and there's a possibility of another 3 coming on to work with us alone. So, you know, and get more comics out. So we're not, you know, so there's more comics coming out quicker, and there's work being done all the time to get this out to you. So quite excited. Thank you, Hugo. All the best for today, man, and for this week. We'll see you next week, and we'll see how we're progressing with where we're going. And for everyone else, wherever you're watching, be well, be safe. We'll catch you next time. Ka kite ano. Did you want to say anything to finish off, Hugo?
No. Just thank you for having me, and I'm looking forward to keeping working on more comics.
All right, guys, make sure to subscribe and share the channel because we need more subscribers. You know how it is. Cheers. Bye.